back again, y'all. So, yep, no update on the Grand National as well. I guess a little update. Don't mind the mess. I got the motor halfway in. I got to use the leveler and kind of knock it in. That's, you know, not the big problem around here. The big problem around here was this fucking Range Rover. This fan was a motherfucker to get off. I got it off years ago when I did the supercharger pulley on this thing. But there was no way it was coming off. So, as you can see, that's a lot of Sawzall blades. And some beefy ones too. The water pump went in this thing, which is right there, which is probably the easiest water pump I've ever done in my life. Except you gotta get the fan off, which is attached to this piece of shit, which is way too expensive online. But yeah, yep, I had to get that off because it was blocking the water pump. So, yep, lovely engineers. Luckily, I was able to not totally destroy the pulley, so that saves me $200. Fucking shitbox, man, I'm telling you. See actually where the water pump is. Yes, right there. This right here. See if I can do this with one hand. She's all floppy. This thing made such a racket, it sounded like the motor was falling out of this thing. Luckily, the water pump's only $37. And if the fan came off, as it should have, it would have been maybe an hour to do it. So either way, I did that, popped the water pump in. Last weekend, I basically was just cutting this thing out. And I figured you guys didn't want to see that, so I saved you the hassle of watching that. What I did end up doing, the ACE system, which is like the active control stability, whatever those hydraulic bars are, the suspension, the sway bars, they have these hydraulic sway bars. The back you can totally disconnect, and without pressure they're locked. The front is all floppy without pressure, so the lines coming from this ACE pump, which are in the passenger well, they're 10 millimeter lines, and they are totally like rotted out from, just 230,000 miles worth of garbage. You can buy fittings to couple it, cut the brake out and the brake in the line and just couple it. But the other thing you can do is get a belt for a 4.4 liter. This is a 4.2, and remove a little idler pulley here and just totally bypass the pump. But when you do that, you have to get the sway bar mounts, and I think you have to drill and tap one side of the bushing mount, so it looks like a U around the bar. So I believe the back side has to be drilled and tapped, which is nothing. I ordered the bar. The bar has actually been sitting right there. You can actually see it behind the exhaust, that general area. Yeah, that's there, and I have the mounts for it. So I'm just converting it over to solid mounts, sway bars rather. That these are great when they're new. I mean, this thing's what, 12, it's gonna be 13 years old, a couple 100,000 miles. I mean, it's really never let me down. I would drive in this thing, and I mean, this thing's been to California, back and forth across the country, up and down to Florida. I got my money out of this thing. It was probably one of the best vehicles I bought. But that fucking thing, that fan pulley, is the worst part about it. So what we do with this is we take this and we throw it the fuck out, pile of shit, and just order a new one, because that's what you got to do with this thing. I started it up without the supercharger spinning, and this thing, it's quiet. I mean, you wouldn't tell this thing had 230,000 miles on it. Definitely one of the best vehicles I've purchased. You know, but this takes me away from doing what I want to do, you know, which is finish that piece of garbage. Which is that's going to be easier than getting this fan pulley off, at least to me. It's asinine. But yeah, my wife's coming back down, so her Range Rover staying in Canada until her citizenship gets approved and we can bring it here. So this is the backup car. So she'll be here in almost 2 weeks. So I wanted to get this thing straightened out, and you know, that was making a funky noise. Like I said, it was like a rattling, and then it would lock up, and then it was like smoke coming off the belt. So it was a good time for me to, you know, disable the ace pump and put a new water pump in it. So, you know, she sounds good now. I ordered this replacement pulley and the new fan, so that should be here within this week, and I'll take her on in for an oil change. This thing's due for an inspection anyways in actually in 1 month, less than a month, so it's probably what I'll end up doing. Just go get an oil change on this thing, have the shop do it, and not that it's hard. I mean, the oil filters are down there, straight ahead. Actually, while I have this thing apart, I probably should pressure wash this thing and make it nice and clean and purdy. Maybe that's what I'll do now. Get the grease and grime off of it. All in all, it still isn't too filthy. So, yeah. So either way, that's that. It's been a week-long ordeal, but luckily the weather's holding for me. The replacement turbo came in. I got it. Don't mind it. This thing's just literally like thrown in there because it was a rough-ass week last week. But replacement turbo's in. Can't believe that's all the antifreeze I was able to get out of here. So whatever. I know this isn't the videos you guys like or care to even watch, but that supercharger feels good. It is what it is. This is what we deal with. Life happens, and keeps you away from you know, the stuff you want to do, you know, the fun stuff. So either way, this should be done for now. It's a supercharger belt, and hopefully next week the video is me starting up the Grand National. So thanks for watching, guys. I know it's not what you're used to seeing, but enjoy.